All right, Chicago vlog. We're packing up, we're getting in the car, and the 4 of us are traveling to Chicago to my brother's house. He just bought a new house, so we're going to visit and see it. Very proud that this right here has 4 people in it. I was like, we're bringing 1 suitcase, we're going for 2 days, it's not gonna be that long. However, it's actually kind of not bad to travel with our 2 kids on a plane. They've done it so many times, so I'm gonna take you on the journey and show you how we do it. All right, are you guys excited to go to Chicago to Uncle Alan's house?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you most excited about?
Seeing Uncle Alan.
Yeah?
Because I haven't like seen him in like 2 years.
Yeah? And your cousins, Brianna and Eric and Auntie Jen? Yeah? You excited to go on the plane?
No wait. And the second excited thing is the new house and also the new dog.
Oh, that's right. All right, here we go, off to Logan Airport. Okay, it is a quick flight. It's only like 2 hours, so I don't need much. I bring a book for myself, iPad for Everett with headphones. Don't forget headphones, you guys, like the ones that actually plug in, and then an empty cup, and then tons of snacks. Here they come with their snacks. And then for Declan, he'll be sitting with Sean, so he gets his Switch, his current book that he's reading, which is Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and his iPad, and also some headphones, and then I'll put their snacks in there.
Mommy?
What? Are you excited?
But Mommy.
What?
Can you get my iPad?
I sure can. Are you excited?
Yep.
Also, I always have their Yeti bottles empty because they drink a ton of water. All right, Declan, we're all checked in. We bring 1 car seat for Everett. Declan gets to sit by himself, but we just checked in. Traveling with kids isn't easy at all. However, we do our best, and we're about to get through security on the plane. Sean's parking the car. He always drops us off, and then we come in and check in, and then we all go through security together.
Can I take a picture? I don't know how to.
Here we go. This should be interesting. Okay, it's always fun to see how much you weigh on the scale. Declan is, what does it say, Declan?
I don't know yet.
43 pounds.
No.
Oh, look at you guys together is overweight. 74.5. I always dress them similar too so that I can find them in the airport. Everett, say hi. Say hi. Okay, we're on the plane. I bring Everett's car seat, and he's listening to his headphones. He's watching the movie that's on already. And then Sean and Declan are over there. We don't do a car seat for Declan on the plane, but we're excited to finally take off. We grabbed some lunch, and my kids have been crazy, so I'm glad to just be on the plane. We'll be in Chicago in 2 hours. Alright, Declan made his way over to our empty seats. He's having a piece of chocolate. We're watching Harry Potter that I downloaded onto his iPad. And he's sharing so we can watch it together. Good morning. It's the next day, and I'm at my brother's house. There's a very large deer. It's very large. Can I zoom in on this? There's just a large deer on the wall. Anywho, my brother's a hunter. I'm sleeping here next to my friend. I'm gonna move so it's like literally not on the screen. But we had so much fun yesterday, last night. I always say the best nights go uninstagrammed, and holy moly, we had ourselves a time last night. It was so fun. And anyways, maybe I'll go into that a little bit further with Jen later, but I posted about how I pack for 1 family in 1 suitcase. So I'm gonna do a quick little excerpt of how I do that. And I would like to give a disclaimer that I'm at a family's, like my family's house. When you're at your family's house, you don't need as much stuff. but I'm still gonna show you how I did it anyways because there's a couple cool tricks that I love. Here is our suitcase. We're in Chicago at my brother's house for 2.5 days. So we flew in yesterday. We have all day today, all day tomorrow. We fly out on Monday morning. So I pack exactly what we need because I do have access to a washer and dryer. So any accidents that may happen, don't have to worry about it. I can wash in the washer and dryer. So I have these packing bags. These are linked on my Amazon. And I put each boy in their own. So this has an outfit for today, an outfit for tomorrow, and an outfit to fly home in, 2 bathing suits, and 2 sets of pajamas, and 1 sweatshirt. I took Declan's sweatshirt out. So I have one for Declan, I have one for Everett, and then I have all of my clothes. I decided to travel with only my Birkenstocks because it's still summer, and I know that we're not hiking or doing anything crazy. So I wore the shoes that I wanted for the trip. Over here, same thing, I have Sean's stuff. So he has an outfit for today, outfit for tomorrow, outfit to fly home in, and a sweatshirt just in case we needed it. So really just kind of fold and compact that all down. He likes to always have an extra set of shoes, so he wore sneakers, and we packed these shoes as well as like his slides. That's my Kindle, as well as his slides. These are the kids' natives. They're super light, so they're not gonna make the bag heavy. And you can crush these and it doesn't matter. So I have them wear their sneakers on the plane, and I always pack these because they're just so good for any type of water play. Over here I have a case that has Declan's Nintendo Switch so that we can hook it up to the TV if we want to. And then I have like my husband's cosmetic bag. I call it a cosmetic bag. And then mine was right here. I didn't have to bring skincare. I didn't have to bring shampoo. That's all here for me. So I brought just very minimal makeup, and maybe I'll add that to this vlog to show you exactly what I brought. So the backpacks that we bring on the plane have all of our electronics on it so that you can get through security and you don't have to worry about them being in your bag and stolen. Oh, something that I think is a huge tip, because this is something I always forget. I forgot this trip too. Is download your stuff before you get on the plane so that you don't have to pay for Wi-Fi. Their kids' iPads, like I downloaded shows on there, I downloaded movies on there before we left so that they had plenty of things to watch to keep them entertained, but I forgot to do it for myself. I'm so used to just using my Kindle like at home on Wi-Fi that I didn't even realize that the current book that I'm reading isn't downloaded onto the device, which is such a bummer. So I had exactly 2.5 hours left of my book, and I was so excited to crush that on the plane, and I couldn't because it wasn't downloaded. And I refused to buy Wi-Fi just to read the rest of my book. So I'm gonna do that for the trip home. But I did have an Audible of Where the Crawdads Sing. So I was able to listen to the Audible on the way, which was kind of cool. So that's that. I'll probably vlog my makeup bag for you guys and show you just like the minimal stuff that I bring, because those are all like my ride or dies. And then I'll show you some more of our trip. There's gonna be lots of food and lots of fun involved. Okay, welcome to the Yates kitchen. Here's my brother, say hi.
Hi.
Look and say hi. You gotta be polite and delightful, Alan. This is my favorite part of coming to my brother's house. I always ask him to make me some salsa. He makes some awesome homemade salsa. Most people would call it pico de gallo, though, right?
It's essentially pico.
I call it salsa. So we're gonna, for the first time ever, videotape it and give you a couple of points and tips and tricks on how to make it.
Whole bunch of tomatoes.
How many tomatoes?
This one we're gonna do 14.
14, and it'll feed six adults for an hour.
Essentially.
All right, so here's how chopped up they are. That's garlic.
Yeah, just
minced
rough
garlic.
Cut it. Just rough cut it.
And there's no, you just measure with your heart when you do this, yes?
Yeah, there's a set recipe, but when you just keep adding to it and knowing that there's more people, you kind of gotta like to know how many people, how much to actually cook, you know?
It's the best.
But just slice them and dice, slice and dice everything. Keep the juices of the tomato. I just go lengthwise and then cut them into like, you know, 1/4 inch chunks. Essentially, you can do whatever you want based off of how your preference is or what have you.
Okay, well, he chops up tomatoes and before the jalapenos.
It's so funny.
These are dill chips. Jen, how did you make the oyster cracker dill chips?
Are you vlogging?
Yeah.
I made them with
She looks really good right now.
ranch dressing packet, dill seasoning, olive oil, mix, and then bake for like 10 minutes.
How? What temperature?
350.
For 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And they're absolutely
Until they're,
fire.
like, not crispy.
They're absolutely fire. And they just sit here and then we just eat them all. And they're so good.
You can still the dill to your favorite seasoning. I like extra dill. Like lots of dill.
You know what would be so good on those? Tahini. My brother has this insane smoker. Look at this thing. And he cooks like, thank you for the model. Can you hold the spatula up higher? Okay, thank you. It's so good. All right, ready? Let's do the dramatic effect lift. Ready, go. Sick. Yeah, that was great. These are huge chicken breasts. They're so good. Spicy.
Seasoned.
Yep, but he uses charcoal.
Wait, show them the juice in this chicken.
And then he like heats it all up in there, waits for it to get to a certain temperature, and then dumps it in.
Look at that.
Look at
Yummy.
juicy. And then you can like keep adding stuff in here to make it like super fancy and like special kinds of wood to make things taste better. So good. We really love food as a family. So
Oh, you know it.
whenever I come out, it's like, what are we gonna do? Eat.
Eat.
That's the best part. Okay, now we're moving on to step 2.
Did you put your
No, technically step 3. Garlic first, then tomatoes, and now red onion, which is so good. It's a lot of dicing. How many onions to tomatoes? So you had about 14 tomatoes, is what it looks like.
I'm gonna start with 2 onions.
We're gonna start with 2 medium-sized onions,
Yeah, red onion.
and
You gotta
then
do red onion for the sweetness.
for the sweetness. And then Alan was saying one of the secret ingredients is like a pinch of sugar to cut out all the acid of the tomato and onion. All right, then you sneak over to the chicken. See if that, oh, look at that. So good.
Should be nice and juicy, right?
It's so good.
Yeah, I'll probably do 1 more onion.
So when you measure with your heart and you're sitting here saying, I'll probably do 1 more onion, what makes you think that? Is it too red?
It's too red. It's too red. Like when
You're not seeing it
I
now.
scoop this to the top, I can only see 1, 2, 3, 4 onions type of thing.
Yeah.
And again, this is all to taste too. So like you might not like onions, you might like love onions, you know.
We love onions.
But I feel like a half an onion right now, or maybe like a small full onion would not hurt this at all.
What's next?
I'm gonna dice the jalapeno.
Here's a tip.
You
When you
can-
clean it out like that, don't touch your face.
Yep. You can keep the seeds if you want. Or you can diminish the seeds if you want. If I was doing this for myself, I'd probably keep the seeds, but because there's other people eating it, just take the seeds out. It's still gonna have this flavor that you want.
Can anybody make one?
That's a big jalapeno too. Look how big it is. How many will you put in?
I'm gonna start with 1. So slice it as thin as you can get without, without hurting yourself there. And then just take it here and cut it real as small as you can. Start to see the colors change, and now you can start to see that you have some sort of a mix that you want. When you can scoop and see all your colors almost in every scoop, at that point, every scoop you see it, you know that you're starting to get a good blend. And again, this is all to how you want to taste it yourself, but to me, if I can scoop one and I know that I get a bite of every in each scoop, no matter where it comes from, then I know I've mixed it well.
All right, next is cilantro.
Yeah. So
Why do you think people have such a hatred for cilantro?
it's because the essence of the cilantro, it's one of those ones where it either puts a completely bitter taste in your mouth, or you actually like it. I know people that have tried this and said that it tastes like dish soap to them.
Ew.
Or that it tastes like a soapy, or like a too fragrant of a touch, and other people just they don't get it. So I don't know the actual science to it, but
I've heard that.
there's something about cilantro. It's a love or hate thing. So a lot of people do their own thing with it. Alright? It's not necessarily wasted. I can use this later, but for this purpose, I literally just try to get myself to a flour portion and then break it off here, come back into here, and just start folding it into a little bit of a ball, and then just start chopping at that point. Some people might do it a different way. This is the way I do it. I just get mine nicely chopped. Big pieces are okay. There's no necessary method to the madness with this one. You know, you might have a little bit bigger piece, but I usually do 2 or 3 rows after I fold. One more, and then I call it good.
Oh, it smells so good.
Yeah, it's delicious actually. So we'll start with one. We'll mix. And at this point, you could probably get to the point where you can start tasting to see about a little bit of balance and what have you. Again, this is better the longer it sits, but at this particular point, your main ingredients besides your acid is in here, but you want to be able to at least have the flavor of it before you mix it down. So I'll mix this, and again, look, see, every spoonful, I have every ingredient in every spoonful. So I feel pretty confident that we're getting to the point where this is ready. Alright, so you get that's what I would consider your base. Now you're gonna start adding the accent flavors. Alright, you have all your veggies in there, you have everything mixed in here, but now you need to start bringing out some of the acid, some of the flavors of all this type of stuff. So I use limes, I use red wine vinegar, I use some limes, and at this point is where I'll start to actually use salt and pepper. I don't salt anything until the very end because you don't want to layer salt in this because it's gonna actually sit for a while, and that'll end up being too salty. And I'll fill myself out with a little bit of garlic if necessary, but for the most part this is the acid build at this point, and this will start accentuating all the flavors and stuff. So I'm just going to roll my limes out. Again, there's no set count, but what I'll do is I'll probably do about like 3 or 4 limes, squeeze, flip, taste, see how it goes. 1, 2 more maybe, might be good. And then I always go limes before I go red wine vinegar because this is more of a natural acid and it helps bring out the flavors. This is just kind of like the little over the top. So we're just gonna slice some limes, roll them out, try to break the pulp inside to get as much juice out of them, and then we're just gonna start cutting in half and squeezing in. I'm gonna start with 6 at this point, just because I know how my family likes it, I know how my sister likes it. So here, I would just put it right in your palm, and just squeeze.
Yeah, like the market, right?
That was a good one.
Yeah, but you have man paws.
That was a good one. Look at that. So, squeeze my limes in here. I want to stir this. I'm still not going to salt, pepper. I'm still not going to season. I want to know what this tastes like from the all ingredients, the all natural flavor, if you want to call it, before we start accentuating any salt, peppers, or anything like that. And when I taste this now, I'll know how much red wine vinegar I need, because the red wine vinegar just has its own taste, right? So
and all that juice is just from the tomatoes naturally.
Yeah, for 90% of that is, aside from like your lime, but we just incorporated that. But this is all just natural juice from everything else, but it's predominantly the tomato part. And again, every scoop has each ingredient in it, and that's where I know that I'm good with where I'm at. All right, so the acid from the lime really stands out. I can really taste the cilantro. The jalapeno comes out. The tomatoes taste amazing at this point. So at this point, a little goes a long way with this one. All right. So what I start by is I do 1, 2 turns of the red wine, and I mix good. I want to make sure that it's just mixed so that I don't take the first bite off the top and it's just straight vinegar. So I mix, a good couple seconds. Make sure you're getting everything off the side so there's no lone survivors in there, right? So, and then at this point, you start tasting to see where you're at, see how much what you need and what you know. Again, I still haven't added the salt, pepper, or anything like that. You know, that takes it over the top. But at this point, I know once again, every scoop I have has all my ingredients in there.
And yes, we reuse our spoon because we're all family. Is it good? I refuse to taste it until it's done.
I like mine a little sharp. A little sharp.
Me
I'm
too.
gonna go one more with this, and then that's it. I think we're good. With the pepper, I go pretty generous. I at least want to see one coat for the most part over that. Remember, you got a half a big bowl. There's a lot of depth to that, so it seems like a lot, but it's not. And then salt, pretty generous, maybe 10, 12 twists and turns.
That was 22 in case you were wondering.
All right, so now at this point, it's making sure top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom, top to bottom. So you're really incorporating it. Because now when you taste everything, you just put your vinegar in, you just put your salt and pepper in. What you don't want to do is take this from the top and just get a vinegar, salt, pepper blend. You want to make sure that this is blended at this point.
And you just scrape the sides and get it all down.
Yep, make sure everything's in there. Make sure the salt and pepper isn't on the side, so if someone does this, they just get a bite of pepper or something, you know. Take 30 seconds to mix it. Again, it looks monotonous, but there's a reason for it. You know, you're breaking everything together, you're blending it together, you're getting more juice out of the tomatoes. Each time you break this down, it's a little bit of a different bite. So, all right, so now at this point,
Final test.
once again, I know I keep saying it, but there's your jalapeno, there's your onion, there's your tomato, there's your cilantro, the juice. You want a bite of everything every time you do it. And that'll make one happy sister. I promise you.
Okay. I like the Tostitos with a hint of lime. You can go plain if you want, but I think the hint of lime is so good. Alright. Oh my god, I haven't had this in like 2 years. I'm so excited. Here we go.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. I'm gonna sit here for about 15 minutes before anybody else knows that it's done. And I'm gonna eat half of it. My sister-in-law just said it's the most Sunday, Saturday ever. Yeah, the boys are having a strobe light party though, so I'm gonna barge in. It's so cute. Oh my god, this is Eric's room. You guys are crazy.
Wait, come in here, it's so fun.
I guess this is kind of like a small little tour of Jen and Alan's new house. There's Cash, just being super cute. And everybody's watching the game. Say hi. Babe, say hi. Hey. Hi. Alright, I'm in Brianna's room, which is the coolest room in the house. 15, right? 15, this is her room. It is the sickest thing ever, you have to see. Okay, ready? This is what it looks like when you come in. It is so cool. If she isn't her auntie's niece, I don't know what she is. But she's got her little altar and all. What are these called?
Tapestry.
Tapestries, thanks. I couldn't think of it. A big screen TV. There she is there. You can't even see her because the light won't adjust. Hold on, where are you? There she is. And that's Natalie sleeping over. We went to Ulta today. We did not vlog that. I love this one. It's happening! In the ceiling. It's just the coolest room. Tell me you wouldn't want this room if you were a teenager. This is where vlogging gets hard. We're home. The last day ended up being so fun and so crazy. We had like a big barbecue. My brother smoked like a big, huge pork loin. Friends came over. It was seriously so fun. And that's always when I forget to take my camera out. We're home. It's a delayed opening today. It's Tuesday after Labor Day. And I wanted to kind of finish out this vlog by showing you what I packed. So this is all that I packed for my trip to Chicago. And this is saying something because this is not a ton of makeup and I'm a makeup person. But when I go on vacation, I try to keep it simple, although I still do my makeup every single day. So I'm gonna show you what's in here. But the night before we left, we had a 7:45 a.m. flight. So we all went to bed kind of like around 9 and 10. And at midnight, Everett woke up and he wasn't feeling well. And he was like, Mommy, my head hurts, my head hurts. And I'm like, what's the matter, bud? And I touched him and he was on fire. And of course, it was the one time I didn't like pack all medicine and stuff for Everett because I was like, oh, it's only 2 days, we'll be fine. So at midnight, I was driving around Chicago with my niece and nephew trying to find children's Tylenol, which I did. But that meant that we got like no sleep and then flew home yesterday. So last night, everybody slept through the night. We all got like an immense amount of sleep and we feel so much better. So without further ado, let me show you what's in my makeup bag that I travel with. All right, I brought 2 palettes with me. I brought the LEJ Oh My Gourd palette. If you haven't seen this, this is brand new, just came out this month, and I am in love with this palette. This will easily become one of my favorite everyday palettes. I love all the products from LEJ, and I had just gotten my hands on this one, so there was no way I was traveling without it. I actually wore this one the most, and I always travel with my Sigma Mini Ambiance palette. It's just such a good palette. It has just my favorite color story in it. I always wear this one in the crease. You always have like a good neutral if you want to go a little darker. It's just a solid palette to wear when you're traveling. So love, love, love that one. For setting spray, I brought the LEJ Glow Off. This is so fun. Let me shake it. And hopefully the camera will pick up all the swirl. Oh yeah, look at that. So this is just a really awesome, hydrating, dewy setting spray. That's probably the one I wear the most. My favorite foundation combination. This is Pretty Natural from Essence. And I always, always, always wrap that up because for some reason it usually explodes on a plane. And then the one time I remember to wrap it up, it doesn't. But I use the color 080, which is Cool Chai. I love this foundation, but I always mix it with the Maybelline 4-in-1 Perfector. So this right here is like my magic combination of foundation. Everyone's always asking what I'm wearing. 9 times out of 10, it's most likely that combination. Okay, for my blush and bronzer, I brought the Melt Cosmetics. This is their brand new Ultra Matte Bronzer. I brought the color Santa Barbara. Let me show it to you. It's really just such a beautiful tone. It is super pigmented, very, very matte. So that's kind of like a good trusty. I love my cream bronzer from Tarte. That's definitely my #1 bronzer. But with the weather changing, I kind of tend to go to more of a powder bronzer than I do a cream bronzer because my skin starts to change throughout the seasons. Okay, and then for blush, I brought the Tartelette Blush in Bloom. I've been really loving this little blush trio. I don't even really use like one color. I just kind of go all over all of them. But if I were to pick a favorite, it would be that one. I just really love coral blushes lately. I don't know, it's kind of like my thing lately. Okay, I brought all 3 of my favorite mascaras because I'm extra. But the Fantasize One Size, or the One Size Fantasize, the Ulta New Heights. I heard a rumor that this was like retiring, and I would be fit to tie. I would be very upset. But I went to Ulta with my niece while I was in Chicago, and I couldn't find it. I haven't been able to find it, so I feel like that's not going to be a good thing. That's my #1 mascara. And then also I brought MAC Stack. A lot of people always ask me what these are. They're called Buddy Mags. Let me show them to you. They're called Buddy Mags, and we'll tag these in the description. Such a cool company. It is a daughter and husband. So the daughter came up with the concept. The dad helped to kind of execute it. I think he's an engineer. They're super sweet. They're on social media. So as always, I always say if you don't purchase from a small business, at least follow and like their content because that helps them grow in the algorithm. But this is the concept. It's very cool. I have them everywhere. There's like a 3M strip on the back here, so this will stick to a surface. And then this goes around your product, and essentially it is a magnet. So it makes the things that you use the most easily accessible. So these are great for kids' toothbrushes, cosmetics, tools, anything that you use that's around this size on the regular. I use them for like my travel. Who is it, buddy?
It's a baby kangaroo.
It's a baby kangaroo, guys. I use them for my travel, perfume size, all those. Okay, for brushes, I only brought, I think 4 or 5 brushes. I brought 5 brushes. So these two, I apply my foundation with my hands when I need to. I did borrow a blending bud from my niece because I did forget that. Like I forgot to bring a sponge. But these are the 2 face brushes that I brought. This is the F78 Ultimate Bronzer from Sigma. I just love this brush. It's so good for bronze. I brought the large angled contour F40 from Sigma, and I use this as my blusher. Obviously you can tell. And then these are the 3 eye brushes that I just can't live without, okay? So if I'm going to be super minimal, I only need 3 brushes. This one I use to apply to my lid. Let me do the influencer hand. This one I use to apply to my lid, and this is the E55 eye shading brush. This thing does focus pretty decent, huh? E55 eye shading brush. I feel like such an influencer right now. This is the E25 blending. And you can see this one here. So this one is just kind of like a medium blending brush. It's not too fluffy, it's not too firm, so you can get a good blend with it. Typically I use 2 blending brushes, but when I travel, I try to stay minimal. And then this is the E30 pencil brush from Sigma, and I use that for my bottom lower lashes. So I only brought 5 brushes with me. I brought Michael Kors Gorgeous Perfume. This is new that I've been trying. I'm more than halfway through and absolutely love it. And what else did we bring? We brought 4 more things. So we brought the, look at how much of this I've used, so much. This is the Ulta Beauty Youthful Glow Primer Serum, and I feel like I need to make a video on TikTok of just this. It is so good. It's just really good, you guys. It's like 10 bucks. Just try it. It's just really good. It's just really good. And then I brought my LEJ glazed lip oil. Yep, glazed. And I brought my Melt Slick Waterline eye pencil in the color olive. I have been wearing this a ton in my waterline. I don't know why. It just became this like color that I really enjoy having in my bottom, like in my waterline. I think it's because it has that tone that goes really well with green. And then I brought my brows. I brought the ABH, the Anastasia of Beverly Hills brow pencil, as well as the NYX Thick It Stick It. This has been my go-to brow combination for a while. I'm going to be switching over to the LEJ 3-in-1 eye pencil as soon as this one's gone, which it almost is. But yeah, I also went to Ulta, bought a couple things with my niece. So that'll be some fun reviews that are coming up on TikTok and Instagram soon. So that is kind of like my basic go-to makeup bag, which in turn, when you think about it, that's my favorites. Like, those are my holy grails. Those are the ones that I just can't live without, because if I'm packing them, it's because I know that they work, right? Like, if I'm only going on a short trip and I only want to bring the things that make my life easy, those are like my go-to. So if I had no other makeup products, I could be super happy with those products that I just showed you guys. But anyways, that was my trip to Chicago. I'm not the greatest at this whole vlog thing, but let me know some other things that maybe you guys want to see. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because this is YouTube and that's what we say. Like, go down here. Everything is linked. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, pop them down there, and I'll see you soon. We're very excited about learning about animals today. Bye, guys.